Okay, I'm so sorry, but if you see Chipotle or corn chips or something stuck out of my teeth, it's because I was having my snack, my Chipotle snack, while I was watching the second episode, and my mind is blown. I have so much to say, but first off, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for everyone who watched the first episode review reaction that I did of this series. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go check that out so you get a nice little backstory of what we discussed in episode one. But this episode was so crazy, and thank you also to the people in the comments who confirmed that there is so much of what you guys are saying, like white privilege and the being scared of the gay, all of the things that I thought I was seeing in episode one really came into fruition in episode two. And it's so interesting because I have seen, like I said in the last review, like a couple of movies and dove into this subject before through research. And as an adult now, I'm seeing these things. I'm seeing the way the culture is playing into this and so many of the surrounding effects. And it all was definitely more highlighted than ever at the end of the second episode when the cops literally did not even want to touch or go inside of his apartment building because he was gay, because back then they literally thought that you could get HIV/AIDS by touching someone who was gay or by like breathing their air. That's how crazy and not knowledgeable society was at that time. And I know that, but I feel like as an adult and being what I've been through and living some life, it hits so much harder, and it's breaking my heart to see this neighborhood get taken advantage of through these subjects. And this was just such a crazy episode. Also, that call at the end with Glinda, good job, Brian Murphy. Literally, not only is Niecy Nash physically and like mentally into this role, she sounds like the woman, which just makes it so much more believable. But I can tell you one thing that really scares me is the whole when it says inspired by true events or this is a real phone call, my heart sinks and I get goosebumps. And I've always been that way, and it's so interesting because I love horror movies. Like I love Freddy Krueger, I love Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Like I love like classic like teen and 80s like horror movies, you know? But one thing I don't like are like movies that are inspired by real events. Like those are the ones that always get me. They always shake me to the core, and this is no different. And this episode was really scary and really like traumatizing in a way, almost in the way it was the first time I saw it. Back when I watched, remember I said I saw there's a couple of movie versions out, and one of the movie versions, when it came to this gentleman, this young boy, and oh gosh, I don't even want to say it, but with the drill. One thing I'm so happy they didn't do is actually show the drilling, because in this movie that I saw, they showed the drilling, and I'll never forget it, and it like scarred me for life. But I was still nervous for that part to come up in the series because I can still just like, oh, I could just like feel it and I just hear it. I just hate it. Like, it's just a lot to deal with. It's heartbreaking. I can't believe the kid was so young and he got out. Like, these people keep getting out and not getting believed, and this is the whole point. It's just is like so scary. But also in this episode, we get more of his background, and I am so excited they did this. And it's really interesting because in the My Friend Dahmer movie, which covers his teen years, it starts in his teen years and then moves into like late teens. So when they went back to him being a child, like that was very, very exciting to think that that's going to be a whole new like opening to see of things I never saw before. And like I said, I hope that this is historically correct, where like these conversations with his dad and things that are happening with his dad really happen, because that really, really makes a difference. And it's so crazy because I'm sitting here, I've always judged this story, I've always judged this person, and now I'm judging 10 times harder because what is going on with the dad showing him all these things, the lobotomy and the now listen, I do see, I saw his cute little perspective of the kids going through some things. He needs something to focus on. Kids need something to take their mind and make them busy and make them happy. But really, roadkill, we're picking up roadkill and dissecting it for fun slash pleasure. So we really can't be too shocked when the future of what happened, because that's not an acceptable, healthy habit. And I think that that goes without saying, but I feel so bad that there may have possibly been a chance for Jeffrey to be a normal person and not get these habits and want to do these things. But I feel like the plant, the seed, was planted in his mind at a young age that this is a healthy habit to have. This is an okay habit to have. And he grew up with that mindset thinking that this was okay, that the things that he was doing was okay. And that, knowing that, is changes everything for me in this whole story, because now not that it makes anything okay, ever, but his family and the influence of his young adult life as a child certainly was a factor into what he's doing now and what he did and why he is who he is, the monster he became. And it's good to know that. That's very interesting. So I love that. Good job, Ryan Murphy, on adding in a young childhood and dipping around the timeline. I'm excited to get into episode 3 and see if they get into more other pieces of his timeline, because everything really is like, the best thing about like Ryan Murphy Productions and shows that he does is that everything ties into everything. So he would never show us that if it didn't mean something. So every scene ties into something, and it's just like, it's for us. It's like for a reason. So very exciting. I'm very happy to get into episode 3. The cast is doing so good. I feel like I'm watching like I'm like clapping and gasping and shaking, and like it's very like, I can't even explain it. It's like it's electric to watch this, just because the story is so scary. It's so close to home. It's so like, I just feel like so many of like the subcategories in this I can relate to, and the acting in this is just beyond. Like I can tell that both Evan Peters and Miss Nash did their homework on these characters. There's something really electric about these performances that, luckily, it really like it does two things. Like, it does suck you in and make you believe the story, but it also, like, if you then you have moments to zoom out and you realize, like, okay, like, these are actors playing character. And then when you think of it like that, you just kind of appreciate the art of acting. Like, you're like, wow, like, these people gave up time to really get into these are dark characters. These are dark moments for both the neighbor and for Jeffrey. Like, these are really dark moments in the dark year and dark events. So I think to tap into that on any side takes extremely amount of like talent and focus. So I commend them, and I'm so excited to get into episode 3. Please let me know in the comments if you are enjoying the Jeffrey reviews that I am doing here, if you want me to continue, or if you want to just do like a series wrap video and just do it all in one, because I originally was going to do that. I was like, oh, I'll just do a series review, but every episode is getting me, and I'm like, I have so much to say after every episode, and I'd rather like come tell you it fresh after I watch it than like do a big series at the end where I'm just kind of like missing things. Like, this was big. Like, this episode was big and really showed everything that we talked about in one. Like, this is crazy. Like, I really can't believe. Also, by the way, I have to say this because I watched other, like, there's like a John Wayne Gacy movie that I watched too, and like everyone knows his story is extremely crazy. He killed a whole bunch of boys too and put them under his cellar, and the cops smelled it and came over, and they were like, John, what is this smell? Oh, I don't know. We'll check it later. Why the same thing happened with Jeffrey? Why, like, literally, these men in this time, so much white privilege to the fact that they can literally say, like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, and all the cops are literally like, oh, okay, we'll be back Thursday then, maybe. Like, what? Mind you, like, the day you leave and you come back, he's killing 10 people a week. And then I just think about the families of each person, the fact that each person is a human, each person is a soul, like, and the cops are just letting it happen. You're not even going in to look because you're afraid you're going to get a disease in Jeffrey's case, and then in John's case, you're just listening, it's frustrating that this even existed, and I love you guys. Let me know in the comments if you guys are watching and enjoying this show, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.